It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. Comic Book Spectrum, whether you're watching us live or on the rerun, please leave us a comment and stick around. We have got a surprise when we come back, and we think you're going to dig it a lot.
Seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
And we promised you something special, and we don't want to let you down here. I'm Brian K. Morris, the host of this alleged thing. Anyway, it's Thursday night, and we're glad you're here, but we have got something really special. We are joined not only by Clyde Hall and Eric S. Hawkins, but you know him, you love him. You can't get enough of him, Mr. Brian Rodman. Brian, welcome back, sir.
Hello. Hello, everyone. It's so good to see you. I just wanted to jump on here. Give me full screen really quick, Brian, if you don't mind.
Yes, dear.
Thank you, Sweetums.
You bet.
So,
buddy.
I came all the way from Asthma Town to tell all of you wonderful people that tomorrow is a very, very, very special day that everyone should jump on the bandwagon for the Kickstarter for Zomberful Adventures.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Something with,
I so wish I were named that something else.
Yeah, something with zombies and, you know, your classic literature characters. I don't know. But it's great content. It's wonderful comic book fun. And you're probably going to see some cool bearded cats in the comic as well, I believe. Correct, Eric?
Maybe.
No, seriously, you can take my mug off here now, bro.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, there we go. But I did want everybody to know that I'm still alive, and I am on the track to getting better, hopefully. So, but it was great to be on here. I got to get going because I can't talk for very long, but I miss you all very, very much, and make sure you all heckle the shit out of these people tonight. So,
like that's new?
do it more for me tonight, if you don't mind.
There you
In
go.
a tasteful way. No, but yeah, it's good to see everybody and be back. Hopefully a big Hagrid figure will be coming back more permanently here soon.
Hope so, man.
So, all right, guys. Good to see you all too. Have a good show. See you later.
Thank you, brother.
Tomorrow, Zomberful Adventures.
11 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Tomorrow.
This thing. Boy, Joe D. McFee has sure changed. Anyway, Joe will not be joining us tonight. He's feeling a little under the weather. He's got some other things happening. But anyway, you got the three of us here, and thank you to Brian for showing up. And I know we're going to get comments on that. Plus, we're going to be doing the subliminal advertising here. And I can tell you right now, a fez and the hat is hotter than hell. Just letting you know already. What few hairs I got left are baking.
My office is like the only room in the house that's warm when it's cool outside.
Really?
Yes, I'm like, I'm starting to sweat under here.
Well, this is probably one of the first. Yeah, Eric, we've been meaning to talk to you about that. But no, this is one of the few weeks where it hasn't been blazing hot in here. So it's like I'm going to take advantage of it while I can. So, which means the winter months will probably mean I'm starting a fire in here. But anyway,
you'd be like a little bum. You have little trash cans all around.
Well, I already live in a van, so what's the difference?
Down by the river.
Down by the river, the free candy on the outside. Yeah, everyone loves him. Anyway, we're going to introduce ourselves to you as if these two need any introduction. But anyway, we're going to let him do that thing. We'll start with Eric here. Eric, tell everybody how cool you are, okay?
I'm super cool. I'm the creator of the. Oh, now I gotta get this straight myself. Zombieful World of Oz, and the soon-to-be launched Zombieful Adventures tomorrow, and Hounds of Hell, which launched on my Patreon a day early today. And I draw and I write stuff and I do things. I like toys and comics, and that's who I am.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Eric.
Thank
And
you.
now here is the gold standard, Mr. Clyde Hall, joining in the dress code for today.
Hey, when you don't have much of a forehead, it's hard to display the zombie for worldwide because I got this down almost over my ears the way I have to wear it. So I don't know if it'll stay this way or not, but I am aboard for the promotion here. I've had it standing by for several weeks, hoping that I could wear it some night. And if Brian Rodman didn't remind me that this is the perfect opportunity. Zombie for World of Oz, 7 a.m. tomorrow, Central Time.
Yes.
But I'm Clyde Hall, and I'm a contributing writer at Stormgate Press with work appearing in their award-winning anthology series, Pulp Reality Volumes 1. Like that.
Yay!
And 2.
Yay!
Like that. And 3.
Even more yay!
And coming in time for all of your Christmas shopping needs, Pulp Reality number 4.
Yay!
Yay! Also from Stormgate Press. I have a story along with Brian K. Morris featured in Tim Bruckner's Major Marjorie.
Yay!
Yay! It is pulpy sci-fi goodness it's the most fun. Just frankly, it's the most fun you can have without going into zero G with a beautiful space siren and hordes of tentacled aliens ready to sucker crush Earth into submission.
You had me at tentacles.
I know. You hentai.
Oh.
The Stormgate Press action is available on Amazon, but you can see a lot more of what we have to offer by going to www.stormgatepress, all one word, stormgatepress.com. Now, get ready to have your minds blown by all the NCBD +1 comic book goodness, where we'll have comic book reviews, news, and fodder for your muse with the Rising Tide broadcast team right here, right now on Comic Book Spectrum.
Very good. Thank you very much, Clyde. And I'm Brian K. Morris. You can catch everything I do on risingtide.pub, which we edit, we write, we publish, we do all kinds of cool things, and we are in Major Marjorie as well, so to speak. And also winning awards for our short stories. That's what we do around here. Also write comic books, do all kinds of crazy things, and host this wonderful show with these wonderful people every Thursday night at 7. Please tell all of your friends. And like I said, Joe, we hope you get well fast. And Brian Rahman, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. And also this show is brought to you tonight by, let's get this in here, by Patreon. Our Patreon subscribers help the Rising Tide flow forward. And if you want to be a part of this, check us out at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris and find out all the cool stuff we do, including a blog that'll drop tomorrow. And I'm usually complaining about something. Plus, we're also doing the sequel to Volcano Rebirth of the Champion for the $5 a month level and higher. So please check that out. Also, Rising Tide Publications, The Terrors is coming out later this year. Please check it out. Check them out on Amazon. And also, Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
You've worked hard and written a great book. Now, it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasma Fire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
you've got a book release coming up, and you're probably thinking of using somebody other than Plasma Fire Graphics.
How dare you!
Well, I think you should rethink that. Jeffrey Hayes is so easy to work with, a very indie creator, affordable, and you'll love the results, as you saw from that trailer just now. Go to plasmafiregraphics.com, also check out their Facebook page, check out the samples, and then ask him about his independent creator-friendly pricing. That's Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And I know you're shocked, but we've got comments. I'd be surprised if we didn't have comments. But anyway, Carl Witzman, did I get here before Donna Carleen? Well, it's good to see you in either case, if you did not. And yes, it's time for us. And I was so busy, says Donna Carleen, reading Michaela Jade's book on Vela that I almost forgot the time. Yes, check out Michaela Jade on Vela. It is a service of Amazon where you can read a chapter of a book at a time, and Michaela just put up a new release there, so y'all want to check that out. Well, that's a good excuse, at least, says Carl. I agree. And Eric Hawkins, glad to see you in the audience. I am the only character that is alive in that thumbnail.
I was sitting there, I was looking at the thumbnail, I was like, well, that one's dead. I'm the only one's alive of all those characters there.
Yeah. Yeah, we should talk to you about that. Of course, then again, we've got the alternate. Where none of us are alive.
Yeah.
So anyway, that'll be the sequel. So anyway, okay, and from Carl, no, you mean the characters that are portrayed. Love the DC medallion that BKM is wearing on that thumbnail. That is thanks to Mr. Clyde here, who designs all of our thumbnails to exacting degree. And that's why they are so lovely. And, yes, the characters portrayed. See, Michael Lanning, good to see you here, my friend. Hey, Carl, Don, and Eric. I come to watch a Joe D. rant, so I'm sorry we got to disappoint you, but Joe has got to take care of himself. So, but he'll be back next week. So, and hey there, see, welcome. We all love a good Joe D. rant. Well, I will have one. I will make up for one. Now, it's something that I did for another show, but this is something that's got me so on edge that I can rant on this show, and it's about
We're getting a second-hand rant?
A second-hand rant. It's a second-hand rant. You know, it's kind of one that's handed down from generation to generation. But it's about a comic that came out this week, and the art is not, you know, it's totally unfamiliar to me. Everyone's saying hello and a good Joe D. rant or a comic toss from Eric. That is the pinnacle. That is the pinnacle.
It's been a while.
It has, and we're due. Yeah. We're due for one. And Jeffer Hawkins says, hey, y'all, Jeffer, mwah, glad to see you here tonight. And Ted Davies, mwah, to you. Good evening, superheroes. Good evening to you, my friend. Check out what Ted Davies Artistry does on YouTube and also that website.com. It's good. Everyone said hello, hello, hello. And Ted, I have some cigars set aside for HallowCon. This is going to be awesome. This will be fun.
I saw that comment, and I thought Carl said Halloween when I just grazed across. I was like, he's giving out cigars to the kids? I think I'm going to head up there.
Where are all the kids in Carl's neighborhood have their growth stunted? You know, you got to ask that. It's like, you know, Mom, I want some candy corn. Look at that man with the beard gave me.
Cigars and whiskey.
That's right. As the kids go stumbling home. And Joe won't be making it tonight, so no rant unless I didn't like my comic. And Lizzie, it's always good to see you. I rant when you're not here. And see, Michael Lanning says, well, that's the chance you take. I can really listen to anyone rant. I'm a rant connoisseur. We hope we live up to your exacting standards, young man. Also, check out what this man does on the Indie Comics Collector Network, the Ragin' 2 Network. He's got a great show on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. that is really, really cool. Always has a great subject, always great panel. It's good to see you here, my friend. And oh no, well, the best we can hope for is that Eric gets on a Cullen Bunn rant. It could happen.
Wait for it.
I saw his name on something this week that looked interesting. I'm like, dang it, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, he just finished that Power Ranger things, and I'm not a Power Ranger fan.
No,
but I
see,
forgot
that did not
Zilla.
look interesting to me.
Yeah, well. Let's see here. Let's see, we have... Oh, I took the... Oh, wait, did I take that out? No, here we go. A blast from the past. You get a no prize if you can name the episode, which means I don't remember which one it was. Anyway,
well, that had to be Monkey Meat, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Monkey Meat now that I think of it.
No,
yeah,
that's the only one I've torn up, right? I folded one into
Yes,
airplane.
yes, you did
and I
tear it
ripped
up,
one
but you
apart.
tried to put it back together. So, and Jennifer Hawkins says, "Who needs a watch? Trying to listen in the car, and my Bluetooth keeps playing my song since the show hasn't started." Well, we have started now, and Jennifer, I think Indiana runs 5 minutes behind Illinois. It's and everyone's saying hello, hello, and Brian Rodman lives in my best
Colin Clive.
No, I was thinking, Colin Clive. No, I was thinking of Brian Blessed.
Oh,
Gordon lives.
Yeah, that wasn't very good.
I know. No practice on how many times I've seen it. I couldn't get through osmosis. But anyway, yes, he lives, and he's coming back. We couldn't be happier. And Brian, and I know they ain't talking about me. Anyway, thank you. And already on the alert me on Zombiful. Thank you, Carl Witzman. Yes, please go to, and I'm sure that Eric will put the link up later if he hasn't already. For
I haven't.
Well, I was trying to be subtle so we could hide your malfeasance here. But anyway, if you will you just go to that link, and even if you don't pledge for the book, in which case you will simmer in heck forever, but go to the site now and just click on the button saying notify me upon launch. And what that does for Eric is that gets him some love from Kickstarter.
Wait, hold on. I never get love from Kickstarter.
Well, they don't. Well, that's true. They don't love your
They
project.
like my money. They don't like my books. And there is the link.
All right, excellent. We'll get that put up on there as soon as we can. I got your head in a jar. You get cats.
Jennifer's in the back of issue 4, 3.
Oh, that's right. Yes, she is.
3.
Yes,
And that's
she is.
how I knew she hadn't read it right away. Because she never said anything about it. Because I read it, I was like, really? Okay. Yeah, we'll see.
Yep. Got one like her at home. Anyway, and ZWO rocks it. Hawkins is a comic god, sorta. Well, that's qualified praise there.
Demigod?
Lower G, yeah.
Yeah, lower G, yeah. Or what would it be in some of the comics, like a GAWD?
Now, say I will brag on myself a bit. I don't do this a lot, but
No, you don't.
as far as indie creators, but we do have Joe, we got Brian, who have put out multiple issues. I know a lot of books that have only put out one issue or just raised funds for an issue and have never got around to even getting that out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm a comic god with a small G.
Yes, you are. See, I'm putting this in. Get notified.
Right now we have 49 followers. So, yeah.
Excellent. Oh,
With it
that's
being a
super.
spin-off, I'm not expecting, it do as well as Zombie World of Oz because it's, I'm on my 4th issue of that, getting ready to launch the 5th issue in April.
Mhm.
But, as a new book, I think it'll do fine.
I think so too. I think people will really dig it. And there is that notification there. Check that out on Kickstarter. And again, please go there and let's get Eric a big send off when he starts this thing tomorrow. It's going to be good. It's going to be real good. And let's see. Let's get back to where we were. And already on the alert me. And you got your head in a jar. And he's a god. And Joe Bachman, a pleasure to have you here, Joe. Hope the Chicago roads are treating you well, my friend. Hey, Joe, I love that song by Jimi Hendrix. Anyway, a secondhand rant is better than none, says Carl Wisman. Wait till you hear this one. And that's the last time you go to that house. Yeah, Mom and Dad will be there instead. And thank you, my friend C. Michael Lanning. Check it out and check out Carl Wisman's Monkey Meat. And anyway.
Ooh, hey.
And yay, Carl, because I'm a Zombie for Oz fanatic now, says Donna Carly. You've won her over, Eric, and she's
Cool,
not
thanks.
a comic reader by nature, so kudos. And as this handsome young fellow says, get notified for Zombie Full Adventures. You'll be glad you did. And regarding the cool friends on the tape at the bottom, what if I want to show my lame friends? Eric has done it for you. Here we are. So anyway, and Hawkins humble. Eric is like the polar opposite of me.
I normally am, but some things. I don't know.
It ain't brag if it's fact.
Yeah, if you play the game the way you talk it,
Yeah.
then
I
it's not
I
bragging
am
at all.
quite proud of my comics.
And you should be. In all honesty, and full disclosure, I am the editor on it. But Eric is the easiest client in the world to work for. Don't let him hear that. Because I mostly just correct spelling errors, and I think I've only made any art suggestions maybe a maximum of 3 times, if that.
I don't even know if it's been 3. I know the one for sure.
I know the one, yeah, for sure, in the first issue. And I had a comment on the one on something in the 4th issue.
I think you might have.
I did. I do remember that now. It was having to do with the mirror. And the
Oh,
coloring.
yeah.
So maybe, definitely 2, maybe 3, but otherwise I just... See, the key to leadership, people... Here we go. Hold on a second. There you go.
Yeah.
That silhouette right there. Right
If it
there.
weren't for me,
Right.
you wouldn't be enjoying that
Right
book as much
there.
as you are.
That silhouette, right? You can't tell what figure that is because of my glove. Darn it.
It's okay. But you see, here's the thing. A good leader knows when to let the troops do what they do best. There we go. Thank you. That was our unsolicited testimonial on leadership. Thank you for joining my TED Talk. Not Davies, but me. Anyway, but no. And the thing was, and anybody who wants to edit a comic, Eric was very adamant that I was to keep my mouth shut about any sort of art changes.
Honestly, I did. I said, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know if my grammar and everything's okay. I'm kind of picky on the art. It's my art. It's like my baby.
Yes.
Suggestions I don't mind, but yeah, I will very rarely change anything. But
And you notice how
unless
rarely...
I go, oh yeah, like no, that's not what I'm going for.
No, but I had a reason. I had a concrete reason for that extra zombie there.
I don't remember what it was, but
In a word, inclusion. Anyway, they were horribly underrepresented in this book, but
they're
out for these
underrepresented in all my zombie books.
That's true. That's true. There's been a couple
Until tomorrow.
Yeah, you want the zombies. He's making up for lost time tomorrow, I'm telling you.
Train full of them.
That's right. It's going to rain zombies. And you are humble when? Asks Jennifer Hawkins.
I'm always humble, and you know it.
And Leslie says, don't let him fool you. He's not humbled at all.
Wow.
Yeah, they're ganging up on you, brother. And Ted Davies Artistry says, Hawkins, love the work, bro. Keep going. King of indie comics. Ooh.
I'm going to change my name on here.
I think you do. Yeah. He's been promoted from Pro Slayer.
I slayed them so much they quit the show.
Yeah. And Mike Miller won't talk to you anymore. You bastard. You hurt his feelings.
It happens.
Yeah, every time. Anyway, we'll start. Thank you for your comments. Please keep them coming. We'll flash some of them on the screen to save a little time here. But, Eric, would you like to start things off? Or should we let the audience vote for once? This occurred to me. Every now and then, we can let the audience vote who they want to have review first.
Yeah. Just put on our names who you want to do the first review. And while they're doing that, I'm going to tell Clyde something. He said, he's having to get the hat to stay down. Well, Thursdays is when I shave, which is my head and face. Because
whether he needs to or not.
Typically, I go into the office on Fridays. Well, when you shave your head and you wear a sock cap and it's super smooth, it just...
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
It's not until the next day that it wants to stay down. So last week, I was wearing the hat, and we just got off the show. I was getting ready for my next show. I do 6 hours of streaming on Thursday nights. And my hat had slid up, but I wasn't paying attention to it. I was walking around the house. Jennifer's like, you don't go on screen on the next show, right? I'm like, no, what's with your hat? I was like, I shaved today. It was like, I don't know what it was like. It slides up to where it's just barely on my head, just flopping.
Wow. Well, I'm going to use the most sophisticated polling equipment that I can find.
Did you guys hear about Grant Lankard?
No.
He posted today that he tested positive for COVID.
I did see that.
Still
Grant
under the
will
weather.
get well
So,
fast, man.
yeah, just thought we would, mention it so everybody can keep him in their thoughts and prayers. And
Much love, Grant.
yeah, Grant, get
All
feeling
right,
better.
seriously. Now, we've got a couple more comments. Jennifer Hawkins says, take note that 2 of the most important women in your life have spoken truths, Eric. So
without any spoilers, why did you watch She-Hulk today?
I did.
Like it?
Oh, well, I've been waiting for. There's a certain character that made his appearance. I've been waiting. He's one of my favorite Marvel characters.
Mine too.
And yes, indeed, Leapfrog was there.
Yes! I was hoping it was Razorback, but hey. And Eric will have dogs barking in about 30 minutes. Keep that in mind when voting.
Razorback actually has a new action figure coming out next year.
Ooh,
Oh,
I'm
neat.
there. I'm there. Now we have a new suggestion though. Since I haven't been able to institute my voting thing, Joe Bachman says save the BKM rant for last. Let Eric and Clyde do a rock paper scissors for first.
Oh, okay. Are you going to count us off, Frank?
Yes, I will. I'm good at counting off. You ready?
Oh, let me get my glove off.
Uh oh, look at him.
What?
He's mean. 1, 2, 3.
Clyde's not doing it. Oh wait, I didn't see no hand. Oh,
Okay.
1, 2, 3. And Clyde wins.
All right.
Clyde, do you want to go first or you want to go second?
I'll go ahead and go first, if you don't mind.
All right.
I don't mind at all.
All right. Hey, Rick Bradley, glad to see a superstar. Welcome to the chaos. In case the dogs go wild, let Eric go first. It means talk fast, Clyde.
Okay.
So here he is, the gold standard, Mr. Clyde Hall.
Oh, he calls me the gold standard. And I finally figured out why. It's because I'm old.
Shut up.
No, I know I'm not as old as you, but, I can almost remember America being on the gold standard. I only missed the golden age of comics by a couple of years. That's why he says the gold standard.
There you go.
How old am I? I can remember when General Frank Rock was a Sarge, and when SHIELD director Nick Fury also wore chevrons and had 2 eyes. I remember when the Blackhawks had the worst superpowers and costumes ever.
Here's obscure. I can remember when the Phantom Eagle was a hatchling.
Yes, I knew Omac when he was a one-man army corporal. I remember when General Thunderbolt Ross's main opponent, they were just the Soviets. I remember when Captain Marvel wore green and white, and he was a guy, and half the time that poor guy was Rick Jones. And I remember Sergeant Slaughter when he was just a wrestler and not yet yo-yoing everybody that he could see. And I remember when Schwarzenegger was just a commando and not yet predator bait.
Or governor.
So I'm old, or governor. That's right. So I am old, but I appreciate the holding me up as a gold standard. I don't think I deserve it, but it's always nice to hear. So, looking at previews, looking at the things coming up this week. I write for Comics Beat and or The Beat as they go by, and there's a section in there by Zach Quillance that every week he looks at things that he's looking forward to coming out, and he and I have a lot of the same taste. So there, find The Beat, look up his picks on a weekly basis, and that's a really good look at some quality books. You might not agree with all of his choices, but he has a really good sense of what's going to be big. So for Image Comics next week, we're looking at October 12th. Follow Me Down, a Reckless Book trade paperback. That's by Sean and Jacob Phillips, along with Sean doing covers. And that is a story. This will be the 5th trade paperback of the Reckless series. And they come out just as these TPBs. And I have really enjoyed the first 4. I'll be getting every Reckless one that Brubaker and the Phillips has put out. A former cop is now a troubleshooter. This takes place in the late 70s, early 80s. So, and it is progressing. The timeline is progressing, so our characters are getting older. A former cop, and now he's a troubleshooter for hire, investigates the disappearance of a woman following the 1989 San Francisco earthquake. But this case soon leads Ethan Reckless down a path of murder and dark dealings, the like of which he's never experienced. And this is the 5th, as I say, OGN in this series. If you like modern noir, you could do a lot worse than Ethan Reckless and the Reckless series. Now, they do only come out as TPBs, and they're $25. So this could be something, rather than go, get the first 4 and then this one also, and be out $100. If your library has Hoopla, or if they have an interlibrary loan system, you may want to check out the first four, and by that time they'll have the fifth one probably in stock, and you can watch it, read it, and look at it that way. Also from Image, Love Everlasting #3 comes out. I'll be getting that because it continues the multi-reality spanning romances of our very confused and sensory overloaded heroine. Eric has done a review on that, and I agree. It was an interesting read for a pseudo romance comic with multiple realities. Marvel. I'm not picking up anything from Marvel next week, but I did notice something that during COVID, there was a real problem of getting movies to line up with comics as far as characters. The movie would come out and there'd be no comics in sight with any of these characters that people may not be familiar with. It just seemed like bad business, but COVID caused a lot of problems in scheduling. Everything seems to be back on track because we had the Black Panther 2 trailer come out this week. And now a lot of the characters in that trailer have books coming out next week from Marvel. So kudos to Marvel for trying to strike while the iron is hot as these characters become more prominent in a cinematic setting. From DC, I'm going to get a Batman book.
What?
I know, because I get Nightwing on a regular basis, but this is a regular Batman book. And it's going to be a regular pull in addition to Nightwing. And why, you might ask?
Why?
Yes, exactly. Well, it's the Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries #1. That's by Sholly Fish and Dario Bruzella. And when it comes to those two creators at a $2.99 cover price, you're damn right I'm getting it. Because they are excellent. They have stories with clever creativity. They play with continuity. They play with what readers expect and know about the characters in a really engaging way. They are proof positive that an all ages comic can be highly entertaining, and at a $2.99 cover price. I'll be getting it every time it comes out. DC also has one that I've been fighting myself, but I'm losing. The Willpower Battle is slowly being lost because they've got several Halloween books coming out, but they have this special called DC's Terrors Through Time. It's an anthology book for Halloween, and it's got a $9.99 cover price. And even though some of the anthology DC books have left me colder than a witch's brass brazier on Halloween Eve, this one I just can't. I don't think I cannot get it. This one, I mean, some of their stuff has let me down, like lower than Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers. But I am sorely tempted because the creative contributors to this issue, Paul Levitz, Carla Pacheco, Zach Thompson, Jeremy Hahn, Kelly Jones, John McCrae, Juan Doe, and Peter Nagayan. Plus, one of the stories is a JSA zombie story. It's set in 1940. So my will is strong but crumbling. I'll be getting it. I can almost guarantee I'll be picking that one up.
I'm definitely getting that one.
Yeah. IDW's got Star Trek Lower Decks #2 coming out, and I want to see how the second contact mission that has gone straight into the pooper for Starfleet levels out. And I also want to see how the crew deals with a sentient public domain holographic super vampire going where no undead has ever flapped before. Boom Studios has, this has got my spooky sense going off for Halloween, The Approach #1, a horror miniseries that finds two employees snowed in at a small local airport and witness to a terrible plane crash in the drifting flurries. They find one survivor and the remains of that plane that the survivor was on. And it's a plane that's been overdue for arrival for 27 years. Yeah, the blurb just had, I've got to get that to see how this plays out. Now, we were talking about a certain writer earlier. Archie Comics is coming out with the Chilling Adventures of Salem, one shot. And if Sabrina's Cat gets a comic, I gotta get it. I gotta read it. And I got to review it to some degree because of our audience members who love cats, and because cats are just that freaking awesome. The blurb is also enticing. This special one-shot explores a different side of Salem's life, one in which he acts as an anti-hero, enacting vigilante justice on those who hurt others like him, animals. In a horror story that's equal parts Pet Sematary and Hereditary. So, yeah, I'm getting it. Even though it is written by, wait for it,
No.
build suspense, Cullen Bunn.
It's gonna suck.
I don't care. I'm going to get it anyway because our audience deserves to know. And if it's sucky, I'll launch it. I will. You hide and watch. I will launch it across the room if it's bad. Because with that kind of build-up, he better write well. Aftershock has the return of my favorite chicken mascot costume-wearing vigilante, Chicken Devils, plural this time. Number 1 comes out for the second volume of the Chicken Devil saga. A new gang war draws Mitch back into deadly confrontations, and to keep his family safe despite their worst efforts, he must once again put on his suit and put in a takeout order of justice. Now, if Punisher worked for a fast food chain, this is what it would look like. And I know some friends that didn't care much for the first series, but it's just so absurd. I can't resist it. I'm looking forward to it. So my picks this week of good stuff. It was quite a good week. Speaking of Cullen Bunn, Shock Shop number 2 came out. That's the comic with the flip comic with 2 stories.
Nice.
And this has given me hope for the Salem story because he's doing some pretty good writing for a Halloween special here. Of course, I didn't expect a whole lot, so, but it's not bad. I do like the gimmicky flipping covers, and, he gets in quite a bit of story for a half story in each issue. He gets in quite a bit of action going on. So, yeah, I'll probably continue to get that. Minor Threats. This is the story about the D-list supervillains that decide to band together to take out their version of the Joker before some of the heroes do, and to get a big cash reward as well, and save the superheroes from having to become dark versions of themselves. Second issue, even better than the first one. This is Patton Oswalt writing this, and I give it high praise. If this hadn't been a week of so many good things, this would have come out on top. But this goes to show you just how good this week was. Night of the Ghouls by Scott Snyder.
Ooh.
This is about a lost horror film. And when you're talking cinematic horror movies, cinematic horror, and you're talking about a Halloween comic with a movie that should have been as big as any of the Universal classics and became a lost film instead because of an unfortunate fire. This has got some real legs. I don't think I could not get the next issues of this. It sets things up very nicely, and it hooks you like a pinhead hanger-on. It's really, I want to see where this goes. Now, this one was going to be my review this week until something else bumped it just barely. But Dark Ride issue 1. Think of, and this cover is so perfect for this. Think of, instead of the happiest place on earth, think of a long-time theme park that is designed to be the scariest place on earth. It is not a satire of Disney, and yet it makes some interesting commentaries about Disney, but it's its own horror story by a fellow that loves amusement parks, including Disney World, and loves horror comics. And he's taken those two loves and he's melded them beautifully. This was top of the line read. I may review this next week if nothing else better comes along, because it is good Halloween-centric stuff.
Who's the artist on that, Clyde?
That
or at least the cover artist.
the cover artist here is, let me see here if it's got them listed on the back. I don't know. Let me see. Covers by Andre Bresson and Adriano Lucas, Martin Morezo and Adriano Lucas, Sweeney Boo, Trish Fortner and Tony Fleeks, Joseph Schmalti, Trish Fortner, but it doesn't tell which one this one is exactly, so I don't know for sure.
I like that pose. The posturing's real nice on that the character.
Well, yeah, and I
that's
love
nice.
I love the way they've got the Disneyland-ish layout and everything, and
Oh yeah, Disney's gonna
Yeah.
come suing for that one.
yeah, probably, but no, I think it's sufficiently different because they'd have to.
Well,
really
they
make
will try.
themselves- They'll make themselves. They'll have to look satanic to make that stick, and I don't think they want to. Here's what the interior art looks like. If you want a little bit of,
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's good.
yeah,
Pretty nice, yeah.
it's and it was a $3.99 comic, and yet it's got the really high class, the cardboard stock cover.
And it looks
And,
like a lot of pages.
It has, yeah, it's a oversized issue, and I just thought it was an excellent Halloween value. And here's splash page.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Hey,
it's
Carl's a redhead.
oh yeah, hey Carl. Wow.
Back in the Cereal Box podcast, we're glad to have you here, brother.
And
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. I might have to pick that up.
Nice layouts, yeah.
yeah, I was very impressed, and the story is chef's kiss, and it has something in common that I'm going to talk about with my pick for this week. My pick is Junkyard Joe #1 of a 6-issue limited series. Image Mad Ghost is the creator. It's got a $4.99 cover price. It's written by Jeff Johns. The art is by Gary Frank. Colors are by Brad Anderson. And letters by Rob Lee. It has a maturity rating here of Teen Plus. And it's warranted because there's some violent, gory stuff in here. It's about war. It's a war comic. So yeah, I think that's a very accurate assessment. Now, while I write for various sites, this is my own independent feature. It should not be considered representing any views of those sites. Just to give you a taste for some of the art. Now, they started off, you know how I feel about wasted pages. Now, but they put the credits on the inside cover, so that was a good move because then they went and doing 1972. Yeah, but that was the only time of that, and they were setting it up, and that's important. It was kind of, that was fairly important.
And that's a very nice font choice, definitely for the book. Yeah.
That was, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. But you get, I got all sorts of of classic war comic vibes from this layout.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Frank is one of my favorite artists working today, and this was just beautifully drawn
Yeah.
and colored.
And Johnson Frank's Johnny at the Back of the Cereal Box podcast, is it in the same universe as Geiger?
Yes.
Yes, I thought
Yes,
so.
it is. Yes. It is a prequel. In fact, they put out a timeline not too long ago, I think, showing where they were going to land some of their stuff. And this is 1972, and they've got it on there. And yes, it definitely hooks into that. And yet, I'm not as familiar with Geiger as some of the other. Eric, I think, is.
I loved it.
And I know you liked it a lot, and I have
I
read
got
part
it
of
too. Yeah, it was really good.
And I did not, like I said, I read part of it, but I have not read all of it. I was completely okay with that. I didn't have to read it. I didn't have to know all about it to get this book.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a good standalone kind of thing. Look at this nighttime jungle scene.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not showing, there's some things that I have chosen not to show. I don't want to give away the story because it has a great moment at the end that had me going, what? And we get a lot of combat action and also Some nice sound effects there, Eric.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty.
We like that explosion.
Yeah. Oh, and this. This is my favorite page, I think, of the whole thing. And worthy of a splash, absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I got some more things to show in it, but the review. Because this one really, this blew me away on a nostalgic level, but much deeper than that. When people talk about Geiger, I went back to look and see what people were saying about it. And a lot of the comments were sort of like this. Not breaking new post-apocalyptic ground, yet managing interesting and unique spins on the existing tropes. That was a sentiment that I heard echoed in reviews of Geiger by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. Other opinions were less kind, though. When I was looking back, there was an addendum on some of them that says, why do they play it safe? I mean, they could have just written this kind of thing for DC or Marvel if they were going to just stick to a corporate algorithm. Why didn't they do something off the charts, something on their own, something daring? And so some people were disappointed with Geiger. I think they're in the minority, but they were pretty vocal about how they didn't dislike it, but they wished that they had that creative team had gone off the rails a bit more. Johns and Frank both, they were happy with the end product and the response to it. And they promised that their Geigerverse was an exercise in world building, and they had stories coming which would flesh out their realities past and future for Volume 2 and beyond. Junkyard Joe is part of the past that eventually forms the 2030 landscape of Geiger. Joe himself is a robotic soldier, and very reminiscent to me of the DC character G.I. Robot, or Jake 1. Jungle Automatic Killer Experimental number 1. But instead of being deployed during World War II in the Pacific Campaign or fighting alongside the Creature Commandos, Joe's story begins differently. The year is 1972, as we saw. The jungle is part of Vietnam, and the American unit awaiting a replacement soldier is known as the Junkyard Dogs. One of the dogs, Morris Muddy Davis, has plans for returning to the world. Plans that include marrying his sweetheart, and having some kids, and hopefully marketing his skills as a cartoonist. Though Muddy has the most plans for the rest of his life, all the dogs want a man to finish their tour and to go home. But they're drawn duty for hunting down a cell of very active Viet Cong guerrillas. It's the same group, in fact, responsible for sending their former squad mate, Buzzard, home with only one leg. As Muddy and his team, consisting of Band-Aid, Green, Big Jack, Bumbles, Matches, and their Sarge, prepare for their patrol mission, Buzzard's replacement is helicoptered in. He's a quiet young man, and his pilot says that he came with orders from the top. But when the FNG tries showing those papers to Sarge, Sarge waves him away. It's time to deploy, and now he's got this virgin to look out for along with the rest of his dogs while they hunt down some very serious enemy soldiers. A night ambush by the enemy leaves one of their number dead, and as an enemy guerrilla prepares to toss a grenade into camp, he is tackled by the silent new man. The grenade explodes, the Viet Cong flee, and then the new recruit rises. His facade of human features, as well as most of his uniform, have been blown away, revealing a robotic face and body. The automation takes the uniform, or their automaton, takes the uniform of their fallen comrade and puts it on, and that person's fatigue jacket bears the last name Joseph. Junkyard Joe is thus christened in the field. With his paperwork as destroyed as his original gear, though, the unit can only guess why this high-tech automated soldier has been attached to them. Are they guinea pigs? Is it some kind of test? Joe can't or won't say. In fact, he seems entirely mute, though he does seemingly understand directions and orders and even small talk. He's also mostly bulletproof. He has excellent vision, perhaps even night vision, and he shoots with the deadly accuracy of a combat machine. The dogs begin crediting Heaven, not the military brass, for sending them Joe. But their patrol isn't yet over. It continues on with traps and surprises and late-night talks of home and card games and in breaks along the trail, and a final confrontation in the confines of a small settlement where the Viet Cong have taken refuge. There's a final reveal regarding the who and why of Joe's deployment with the dogs, and it's a nice bit of deviation from anything GI Robot. We're also left with the surviving dogs who are heading back into the world, a story that issue number 2 will follow up with. The good. When comics fans say it's been a good week, that may mean many times that they have been waiting for titles and those are out now. Or it may mean that they get the next installment of a particularly juicy storyline they're into at the moment. But the best weeks aren't always quantity either. They're judged by quality, and this has been a very good week indeed, because those two comics, Dark Ride and Junkyard Joe, from my pull list, they had a secret ingredient. It's the rarest je ne sais quoi of comics. They had passion. You could tell before you ever came close to that last panel that the creators were passionate about what they were doing. In Junkyard Joe, Johns and Frank are definitely stoked about continuing their original world, but they're also passionate in not only recognizing the military service of their family members, but passionate about using their talent to help veterans in both the United States and the United Kingdom. There's a special section here in the back where each member of the creative team or their families discuss the military careers of their families.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Exceedingly cool. There's a lot to cover.
Nice.
Yes.
And they're donating some of their proceeds to Wounded Warrior too, aren't they?
They are actually what it is this. There's an outreach page that talks about their efforts, call to action, tells you how you can make contributions to two organizations. One is the National Coalition for Homeless Veterans, USA, and from the United Kingdom, Veterans Aid, which has been around about 90 years. If you buy the black and white version of this book, 100% of what you spend goes to those organizations, split evenly. $2, which is basically the profit of all issues, are split right down the middle between the two groups. So they not only are passionate about doing a good war comic, they're also passionate about serving veterans. And I can, that is something that I can get on board for without any trouble at all, especially when the product is this good and it channels their passion for honoring military service. No one likes war, but when we have people that are willing to put their lives on the line, it deserves our recognition and our appreciation. And you get that. You so get that from this issue. And we don't have a long time to learn about the soldiers because it's a single story, a pretty much standalone story. And yet Johns brings each to at least a level of surface life. And Frank, he gives them profiles that also become etched in our minds as the story progresses. You feel that you have been a voyeur to the worst moments in their existence and the most miraculous, and that you've experienced some nerve-jarring life with them, and with some of them you've even shared their final moments. Brad Anderson's colors bring the jungle into crimson-smeared emerald hell, brings it to life. And if a letterer can't revel in a combat title, they should turn in their font software. Luckily, Rob Lee keeps the dialogue crisply flowing with easy acknowledgement of who's saying what to whom. Now, and you say, well, the character's mute. That's not difficult. You might think that, but this is a whole squad of other guys that are reacting to him. So, yes, that's not easy. And he does a beautiful job. I've talked about Lee's work before, and it's top-notch. He also gets in a smorgasbord of good explosions, gunfires, robot servo, and metal hand through human face sound effects for this. There is a selection of variant covers. I am particularly fond of my Jerry Ordway cover because it's got the Junkyard Joe action figure from Ordway Toys. I love it. I just love that cover. All the covers, though, were good. Frank did one that is kind of the one that they've been going to for most of the ads, and it's also equally cool and exciting. The bad. Okay, if you like Johns and Frank's Geiger work, chances are there is a prequel. This is going to be a prequel made to please for you. If instead you had hoped for something wildly different from their work for DC, like we were talking about, when it comes to their independent and creator-owned collaboration on updating their timeline for their new reality, an updated iteration of G.I. Robot as an opening event in the formation of the Geigerverse, that could leave you cold. I would add, however, that if you like Jeff Lemire's reworking of classic DC and Marvel characters in things like Black Hammer, the Junkyard Joe miniseries promises some intriguing variations from its source material. A section of John's and Frank's fandom wanted these creatives taking more chances than they did while working mainstreams, and this may be the beginning of them actually doing some of that. It just depends on how far they're willing to push that variation. But there's some things in here that you wouldn't have seen in GI Robot, so there is that. The takeaway: Junkyard Joe #1 stands alone like a well-balanced combat machine. You can get it, and you can enjoy it, and you can be absolutely compelled to pick up the rest of the series. And it may also send you to reading Geiger as well. Or you can get it and enjoy it and know that you've helped a worthy cause and perhaps not feel compelled to pick up future issues. The creative team has composed this issue, I believe, intentionally that way, keeping the hooks into the next issue present, but not stabbing you in the eyeballs with them. I think they want this issue to help vets, and they want to sell you more comics as their world is fleshed out, but they've kept their perspective on what they consider the greatest of those causes. And it's not their own ongoing profits, not for this launch. And that is extremely rare, and it's extremely commendable on their part. For that, and for its pitch-perfect homage to the war comic genre. Junkyard Joe #1 gets a good conduct medal, a crisp salute, and my score of 8.5 out of 10.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's nice. That is very nice. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, please.
No, it's I was
not you, Eric. The dogs are out.
I was blown away because I didn't think Dark Ride had any competition this week, and then this is the last one I read, and I'm like, and I remember Eric was saying something about it last week, so I was like, I got to make sure he's not going to review it if he got a copy, but
no, it looked really good though. I wish I'll get one probably tomorrow.
And I'm probably going to get one through Comixology, because that did look good, although I'm pretty sure I can't get that beautiful Ordway cover, unfortunately, but
yeah,
it's something to look out for.
You can download the image, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm not terribly worried about that.
It made me actually go out and to storage and get my Unknown Soldier, G.I. Joe commemorative action figure, and my Blackhawk figure.
I was noticing Blackhawk.
Stony Smith figure from the old Marks collection before they were Best of the West, and we were still trying to compete with G.I. Joe. So
nice. That's beautiful. Thank you, Clyde. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we've got some comments. Did someone say redhead? Yes, Carl, we did. And back in the cereal box, do check out that podcast network. It is great. It's on YouTube. Please give all their shows a like and a love, and subscribe to that channel because Johnny is awesome. Plus, if you want to meet the real Johnny Pica, go to HalloCon the last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this month, and take in his beautiful pipes. Anyway,
he is the entertainer.
Yes, he is. He is the entertainer, not to be confused with the Billy Joel song. And Geiger was great. It really was. I was surprised how good that was, and I've been looking forward to this book, too. And, yeah, the minority is always the most vocal. It's like a quote, and I can't remember who it was, that it is with pebbles as it is pebbles in a bottle as it is with small-souled people. That
I actually, even though they were a minority, I did pay attention because they weren't hateful. They weren't hateful about it. They just, they had expected something completely different than what they did before. And Geiger has some similarities, just like this. G.I. Robot is very strong here. Yeah. And they were wanting something completely different. Well,
Yeah, but you got to give it time is the thing.
Well, okay, so I distributed that Obsidian book for those guys in New Zealand and Tech. And they're getting a little down that nobody's giving any reviews of their book or anything. Mm-hmm. And I told them this week, I was like, nobody really reviews books unless they have something negative to say. So if no one's saying anything, they've liked your book. So don't
Yes.
worry about it. Most of what you're going to see is negative stuff. If you start seeing a lot of videos, they're all going to be negative. So you do not want to see those.
No, that's true. That's a good point, Eric. You know, and was it Richard Nixon, which, you know, is terrible to use him as an example.
I'm not a crook.
Oh, yes, you are. Anyway, but no, he used to talk about something called the silent majority. And those are the people who think everything's going okay and there's no reason to complain, so they have no need to voice their opinion. Of course, this was in the pre-internet era. But, you know, and I firmly believe that's right. And, Johnny, I agree with you. We probably could do a special Clever Title Pending on critics. And by the way, if you've read or enjoyed any of my books, please go to Amazon and leave me an honest review, because they actually help so very much. And yes, Carl Witzman, we agree. Very cool for the veteran support. Mm-hmm. And Johnny says, back in Starbucks, says, I was on the fence about Junkyard Joe, but it's definitely at the top of my list when I go to the shop on Saturday. Definitely. Yes. That was one of the purposes of the show, to get you guys to pony up and explore some new good comics.
If it's available and you can get the black and white issue, there's different covers for it too. Frank did one of those with, it looks like Easy Company. The layout is very much like you would see the profile pictures, the avatar kind of pictures of Easy Company that shows you all the soldiers in the squad.
Oh, nice.
And I even online, I just looked at that cover for like 10-15 minutes, just looking at all their expressions. And like I said, they actually managed to establish the characters quite well for just a single story.
That's very cool. And Don agrees. That is very cool, Clyde. And dog craziness will ensue in 3.3, 2, 1. So keep talking. Yeah, really, it was frightening how accurate that was.
Mute.
Yeah, as if he's done this before. Anyway, and good evening to Molly Daniels, author extraordinaire. Evening all, just finished eating dinner and thought I'd drop in and say hi. Well, we're glad you're here, Molly. Glad you're off from the 9 to 5. And hope to see you this weekend at LibraryCon at the Benton County Public Library in Fowler, Indiana, from 10 to 2. It's unofficially known as FezCon. And I think it's because Carl Witzman will be there. Anyway, also Donna Carleen will be there. And hopefully Molly will be there. I will definitely be there. And I will have a new order of one of my books that I haven't carried in about 3 years. I just got a shipment of I Want to See, the biography of Philo Barnhart. So we'll have a few limited copies of that. And everyone's saying, hello, Molly. So, anyway, guys, keep those comments coming. We'll flash a few on the screen. We'll save a few for comment between reviews. And speaking of reviews, we have Mr. Eric Hawkins down here. And stay tuned. The rant is on its way, people.
That's right.
If Eric doesn't do one, I will.
Geiger, I kept picking up Geiger because it was one of the few books I picked up last year. I guess it was last year. It made me look forward to the next issue.
Yeah.
I didn't have to. Wasn't left guessing. Well, maybe they'll explain what's going on here in the next issue. And maybe I should get it. No, I looked forward to getting the next issue to find out what was happening because I wanted to know. And so that's why I kept getting the whole series. And when it ended, I was so disappointed. And then they came out with that one shot, which had all these great little stories in it, which is where I saw the promo for Junkyard Joe, which I thought was really cool. So I can't wait to pick that up. This week, I picked up a book upon Clyde's recommendation, because I don't remember if I had seen it or not. Briar, which is kind of a retelling of the Sleeping Beauty tale. There's the cover I got.
Ooh.
Nice.
It's cover D, apparently. Gosh, I don't remember how many covers there were. How many covers were there? Let me count them off here. Let's see. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, 13 covers.
Oh, dear God.
I got cover D. And this isn't by Marvel or DC, so I don't know why there was so many covers. But it's written by Christopher Cantwell and He's the creator and writer, and the other creator and artist is German Garcia. Colorist is Matt Lopes, and Clyde likes letters more than I do, and if they don't put their name, I don't care. The letterer is and World Design.
Yep.
Yeah. And isn't Cantwell the guy who wrote Blue Flame?
Yes.
Cool. I love that book.
Yes, he did. Oh, wait a minute. So, they got different colors on this one. Yeah. Okay. So, the book, basically talks about Sleeping Beauty, and right away, there's all this exposition and stuff to read here, and usually that stuff usually bores me to death. But for some reason, in my head, and when I read, my lips don't move, so I know I wasn't speaking it. In my head, it sounded like the narration to Lord of the Rings to me for some reason, which kept me interested. And I swear I was even hearing the music in my head as I was reading all this. And basically the same thing happens, little Sleeping Beauty pricks her finger, falls asleep, and here comes Prince Charming. And I was like, well, this isn't changing much. Then I was like, oh, what a dick. So unlike the actual story, not the Disney story where she's taken advantage of by men while she sleeps, this might be worse. I don't know. So the Prince Charming's like, well, I don't have to kiss her to marry her. I can marry her while she's sleeping. I don't have to hear her nagging. And I'll become the king and rule the countryside. And that's what he does. And
it could have been a funny moment, but it wasn't. I mean, you're outraged the way that they presented it.
Like,
what the hell?
I feel guilty for laughing.
No, it is the idea is a funny concept, but she presented it as the narrator presents it so sternly. It's like, what the hell?
And the narration is so good in this book.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not throwing the book. I do like it quite a bit. And then I thought it was maybe going in a different direction because it's been like 100 years now, and old Sleeping Beauty is kind of looking like a corpse there, still sleeping because no one woke her, and the kingdom has fallen to hell, and people have died off, and then some little midget comes along here. I was like, is this a dwarf? But so I thought maybe it's turned into a zombie book, but it doesn't turn into a zombie book. But apparently this person who is not revealed kisses her, and she wakes up, and I mean it's the weird stuff. Like she wakes up, and her voice is so dry, she needs water. She can't speak. I was like, well, I guess that makes sense. She hasn't drank anything over 100 years, or 10 times 10 years, as she says. And she runs into some. It's not my favorite part of the book, but she runs into some ROUSs. Rodents of unusual size. I'm like, what is this? Is this a Princess Bride now? This book takes me in so many different directions. I thoroughly love this book. But the kingdom is it's crap now. Everybody's died. The castle's gone, and everything's
feel good book of the year.
Yeah. And and then oh my God, she goes to this outpost that she had never been to because she'd never left the castle because she's a little she's a little princess, and they're gonna sell her into slavery as a prostitute.
Dear God!
And that's when she's rescued by another woman who gets captured too. And I just won't go into any more of it, but it was so cool. And that is only like half the book I just told you about. There's so much more. And I said, oh, it's a Boom Studios book, isn't it, Boom? Yeah. And half of it's going to be ads in the back, which I don't mind. They don't put them in the middle. No, this one there's very few ads in the back. In fact, there's only I guess there's 4 or 5, but you even get a map.
Yeah.
Everybody loves maps. See what's going on and where things are in the world that they're talking about. But yeah, this one, Light Geiger, I want to read it again. I want to read the next episode. I want to see what's going on. they did a very interesting retell of the story, which I found very enjoyable, and I do recommend getting this book. I've liked books this year, and it sucks. But yeah, pick up Briar. I'm gonna
Do it.
No, I will not give a book a 10. You know my thoughts on that. I mean, it's
Right.
It's not Born Again. It's not Watchmen. It never will be.
Right.
I give a solid 8.5. Yeah, a solid 8.5. Close to a
That's about
9,
right.
maybe 8.9. I mean, I really
Ooh.
liked it, and the art is beautiful in it. Everything was great about it. I have no complaints. And the RUESs, I mean, that was great.
And you have seen and you have actually crafted some variations on a classic tale.
Yes.
I have read a lot of those. I had not, most of these things I did not see coming at all in the development as this goes along. I love that. I love when that happens. So
Yeah,
that's why I thought you might like it.
When that guy came into the little tavern there, is buying all of his men a drink. Oh, he's going to help her out. Oh, hell no, he ain't going to help her out. Yeah, you can't do no work, but you're kind of skinny. We can get some money out of you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not your your dad's or mom's Disney version of Sleeping
No,
Beauty.
this
But it's also not over the top because you were talking about taking sexual advantage, as in the classic story and all. And I'm like, no, this is so much worse. I think. I mean, maybe it'd be great, but this goes in different, in unexpected and horrific directions. So,
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's just, man, I really like it. I don't know why I've liked it most this year, but I really like it. This one might be one of my top books of the year so far, as the year's wrapping down, and
Cool.
I gotta go dig through all the books I've bought this year.
Yeah. Not looking forward to that. Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
And we have some more comments here. And of course, folks, this is a good time to remind you that Eric is launching a brand new Kickstarter tomorrow, hence the attractive headgear we're wearing. Check
11
out
o'clock Central.
At what time?
11 o'clock Central, and I
Beautiful.
am going to live stream my launch on my YouTube channel.
Oh, beautiful. So please check that out. Please subscribe to his channel while you're there. But anyway, that's going to be a spin-off of the Zombieful World of Oz, which, of course, is one of the most amazing books ever. And y'all need to buy these, too. Go to Stone Door Studios on Facebook and get more information there.
Yeah, I just sold another variant cover today.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
everybody
what-
loves that Amazing Spider-Man knockoff cover.
And
The
you,
Scarecrow.
and you know what? I was on a show with Randy Zimmerman. Check out Randy's shows. They are awesome. And we talked to a gentleman who makes additions onto, like little plugins for like graphic programs.
Mm-hmm.
And he just came out with one that draws webbing. I thought of you.
Oh, yeah. Rob Mazzullo?
Yeah.
He made
Real nice guy. Real nice
he's
guy.
made a pin that draws webs.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
shows you how to do it
I know.
on his video. So I was like, I don't draw a lot of Spider-Man. So
Well, now you can. So anyway, we're enabling you. So you lucky dog. Molly Daniel says now here's another person, not a comic book reader, but we have set her on the path of righteousness. I put 8 billion genies on my wish list, and now every other week I get reminded about it, says Molly. It's good.
I think, was last week the final issue?
Was it?
No.
Or is there one more coming out?
Yeah, I think there's one more.
More.
Okay, yeah, because I saw 5. It just come out. And Donna, Carly, and hope to see Molly in a couple of days. But Molly, it's not looking promising, Donna. Married son has to work on Saturday, and Donna only has a Jeep. I teased BKM about kidnapping me. I offered to. I've got the kidnap plan. It's perfectly workable. But I offered to kidnap her to go to the legendary Lexington Book Bash last week, but we also figured out that we wouldn't get there till about 2 or 3 in the morning. So, and Brian needs his beauty coma. But anyway, back in the cereal box, Johnny says, so I'm waiting to pick up 8 billion genies in the trade collection because I got turned onto it late, and issues 1 and 2 are impossible to find here in Middle Tennessee. Now, Molly asks, isn't it on Amazon? And It might be. It might be. Yeah, I know that if you go to hoopla.com, you can read the first 2 issues. I've read number 1. It's really quite good.
Now they did second and third printings of the first couple issues now.
That's right.
Because I think my shop was my second shop I go to has second and third printings of 1, 2, and 3. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also here's something that I've told these guys about. When you read things on Hoopla, the creators will get paid.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they get per view reads, kind of like Kindle Unlimited. So definitely check out Hoopla. And yeah, we're sorry too, Carl. We hope that Molly can make it there. And she's turned into a little old lady. My van has a full tank of gas, but I only drive it 5 miles each day. At least I still have my sense of humor about the situation. Well, I'm an old man who's got his van parked in the backyard, so I understand. And I'll have to look for that book, says Lizzie. I love fairy tale retellings. Will you come by it honestly? And Darn Molly will be thinking about you on Saturday. Yes, we'll be talking. Thinking about you too, Molly. And that's okay. Talk away and thank you. And Mr. Rainbow 228 has dropped in to say hello. Mr. Rainbow, always a pleasure to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Everyone's saying hello there. And that catches us up on the comments. So now it's time where we lower the bar. And folks,
lower the boom, it sounds like.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And the more I'm thinking about what I'm going to have to say, I've got 2 rants. 2 rants. 2 for the price of 1. See, I don't do it as well as Eric or Joe. So I have to make up in quantity what I lack in quality.
Well, all it's left to do is for someone to burn a book.
If we didn't have the smoke alarm, like a little bit out of the way, don't think that hasn't occurred to me. So anyway, we're launching this, and folks, this is a good time to remind you, if you're enjoying any part of this or plan to in the future, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube, and please like this broadcast, and please subscribe. You can subscribe at either place. It'll make you happy. It will. Just like Rolling Stones, it's just like love. It'll make you happy. Anyway, Okay, I've got 1 book on Comixology. Here's the rest of what's come in this week. Now, is that unusual for me or what? Okay, we're going to do this one first because it's inconvenient to hold. We are looking at the penultimate issue of Monkey Prince, which this is one of the best books I've read this year. It treats the ancient Asian legend of the Monkey King, and there's this young man who turns out he's next in line for the mantle. Now he's learning how to be the Monkey King. And this starts out with a guest shot, obviously, by Aquaman and Mira. Hey, Monkey Prince, by the way, don't piss Mira off. Just saying. Anyway, it starts out with a meeting of the Monkey Prince and his mentor, meeting Aquaman and Mira, the rulers of Atlantis. And so, just to give you an idea here, the Monkey Prince is brought in, and his mentor says, bow. And he goes, okay, yeah, I'll bow. And he goes, bow. Okay, Aquaman and Mira, your turn. And they're like, what? And he goes, bow back to me. Royalty recognizes royalty, am I right? And the mentor's like, and Mira's going, we are not bowing. He goes, hey, I'm the Monkey Prince. Emphasis on Prince. And she's like, we know who you are. And Monkey Prince is like, well, then bow back. And Aquaman stands up and goes, Batman debriefed us on you. And the Monkey Prince goes, whoa, do not believe anything out of that pointy-eared freak's mouth. That Batman, and Aquaman goes, he said you are exceptionally powerful. He goes, oh, okay, accept that. You can believe that. Okay, and then it goes down. The relationship goes downhill from there. Meanwhile, Black Manta is launching an attack on Atlantis while an ancient Asian myth is taking form in the heart of Atlantis. It's a great read. Ends way too soon for my taste. Lots of humor, lots of action, some good stuff. And Aquaman, and of course, this Aquaman is forced to do the most sacred of ceremonies, the pinky swear. And of course, then then it turns into the Three Stooges, which is welcome. This is a fun book. I pray that DC brings it back. Gene Yuen does the writing on it. It is spot on. It has an entire creative team of Asian heritage. It is a great representative comic. It is so much fun to read. So this is a 10 out of 10. Definitely check out Monkey Prince. You will be so glad you did. And I believe it was Clyde, I believe you were telling us about this last week.
Yes.
Loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Great.
a really good product.
Yeah, this is like the antithesis of that chilling Tales of Sorcery from last Halloween, which I see they're doing one for this year too.
Yeah, they can.
I'm gonna pick. I will be the sheep you blindfold and push into the minefield for that book. I will get it just to see if it sucks as bad this year. Okay.
I won't.
Yeah, my expectations are tempered. Let's say.
If you give me a book that I have to tape wings on, bat wings, and sail it across the room, I have learned my lesson. I will not be getting another one of those.
Well, here I am with a complete set of checkmates. What can I tell you? So we may if the week that I think it's going to come out the last week of October. If I'm in my backyard broadcasting near a fire pit, that's foreshadowing for you.
They've already beat last year then because it came out November 1st.
Well, that's true. That's true. Halloween will never end at Archie.
Yeah. Oh.
But anyway, this is a really solid read. I'm going to give this an 8.5.
Yeah.
Out of
3
10.
stories.
Yeah.
And they all make sense and they're all satisfying. And, we get to see Betty Cooper doing kind of her extraterrestrial Buffy version. Very cool. Very cool.
And plus a 1-page Archie gag page is always welcome.
And some obscure characters. We had the Cabots from Josie and the Pussycats.
And that Wilkin boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I also picked up another Archie. This wasn't too bad. I don't know. I love Archie. I find that the older I get, the more I like him. Mm-hmm. And they bring in a couple of new characters. The Spirit of Halloween Trick and Treat. Hooray. Anyway, the story is pretty okay, except there's one panel that does my heart good.
Yay!
Pure Heart the Powerful from the 60s, man. What's not to love? Actually, it's a pretty decent story. Good ending. And then it's got a couple of stories in here. I think they're reprints. With my buddy Jim Amish on inks. And I love Jim. Jim, I miss you. And hoping to talk to you sometime soon. But anyway, he does some really solid inking on a couple stories. Then there's a Dan Parent story in pencils of Tricky Treats and Betty. Ooh, oh, yeah. Anyway, and here's something else that I think is worthy of getting. Now, you see the art on this page here? This page here? Mm-hmm. Gene Colan.
Ah!
This was drawn when Gene Colan left Marvel. In the 80s, I think it was.
Yep.
And it's inked by Rudy Lepic, a longtime inker at Archie, and written by Rich Margopoulos, who wrote a lot of stories for Warren. And this story alone is just such a novelty, seeing Gene Colan. I have seen his humorous art, and it's pretty cool. And it's got a 1-page Archie. This one I'm giving this one an 8. It's not quite as much fun as the other one, but it's got some moments here, and especially if you got young readers in the house, for $2.99, give them something they'll enjoy. So that's a good book there. And then, oh my God, we got magazines this week. Real quick, Mad Magazine celebrates their 70 years of stupidity with I think it's the first time ever. This is a wraparound cover.
Ooh.
Oh. All right, isn't that nice? And also they have a fold-in. It's a double fold-in.
Oh.
Isn't that cool? And also what's exceptionally cool, there's also some original material in here. Oh. Along with the usual cast of idiots. And it's just got a lot, and I just love it when Mad does original material, so it's a 10 out of 10 for me all the way. And then Shudder Magazine, of course, if you like your horror in the Warren fashion, this goes without saying that this is the book you gotta get. And I'm loving a lot of the artists that are coming in now. It shows some definite American influences, but are definitely doing some unique stuff. And there's a man that worked with Neil Adams.
Huh.
as you can tell from some of this. Let me get his name here. Mikhail Bergzich. Really good stuff. My buddy Lou Motion's got a story in there, and some real solid art. Beautiful wash job there, and here's one from Rodel Noura. Pretty solid line work there.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of good art in here. Great stories, real short stories, real punchy O. Henry type stuff. 10 out of 10 if you like horror. If you don't like horror, get a checkup from the neck up. I don't know what's wrong with you. Anyway, Two Morrows has put out 3 magazines this week. The first one is the Jack Kirby Collector. If you're a fan of the King, this is the book as they celebrate Steve Sherman, who was one of Jack's assistant editors back in the 70s when he was putting out the Fifth World stuff. Or the Fourth World stuff, rather. And it's got, artwork and information. And article by Mark Evanier, or interview with Mark Evanier on Steve Sherman. And the cover in black and white. A lot of penciled material from Jack. A picture of Supergirl. And a lot of thrills, and they've been reprinting some of the Linkthorn, the Flying Fool stories from way back when, and that's been a definite treat to read. Plus some early pictures of like Beautiful Dreamer from the Forever People. Just a whole lot of great stuff in here. The development of in the days of the mob, and shows some of the original panels, the uncorrected panels from the first issue of Cobra. And like I said, pencils. And you can see what Jimmy Olsen looked like in the comics before Al Plastino or Murphy Anderson got their hands on him. Pages from OMAC, a lot of good stuff in here. If you love Kirby, this has got to be a must read. I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. For the Kirby fans out there. And then Back Issue Magazine has a lot of the B features from Marvel, like Doc Samson, Union Jack, Jack of Hearts, Stingray. Really great articles, as always, from editor Michael Urey. This one's a 10 out of 10 too. If you love the history of comics, these are a good book, and this will make Clyde's heart beat glad. Starman. Yeah! Golden Age goodness from Emil Gershwin, who succeeded Jack Burnley on Starman. And there's all kinds of great stuff in here about Emil Gershwin, the artist. It's got some art from Lady Danger, Spy Smasher, Starman, Buster Brown comics. And then the usual stuff from Michael T. Gilbert and other people. It's really good stuff, and lots of reprinted material. Roy Thomas, as always, puts out a great package here of super stuff, and some obituaries in the back. Lee Goldsmith, Albert Guzman, Ron Goulart, Mel Kiefer, and a very lively letters page. And this one is always a 10 out of 10. This is totally good stuff. So if you're interested in the Golden Age of Comics, Alter Ego is the book for you. And now we're getting down to those books. We have one here. Now this is the first of the 2 rants. Okay? Comic characters should look like the comic characters, right? Well, I picked up a book this week, and they screwed the character up totally. Look at that.
Mm.
They couldn't even get the emblem right on his chest. What kind of hack does this? I ask you.
They got the underwear right, though.
Yeah, they got the underwear. No, they didn't. No, there should be no underwear.
Oh,
New 52 forever. Anyway, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh my God, doesn't even look like the guy now. So anyway, I'm giving this a -5. It's crap. No, seriously. This is a replica of the original Superman #1. DC put out Action Comics a couple weeks ago. I think it's next month. They're going to have like a slew of replicas, like Superman 75 with the Doomsday thing. It's not like there's not any copies of that floating around. And yeah, and also like Brave and Bold 28 with the first Justice League of America. But it even has the old ads in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just you could get a one-man band, men's secret money belts, a photo ring, a knockout bank. It's good stuff. Origin of Superman in one page.
If you want to live life in the fast lane, you get that book.
Yeah.
You get your Harvey comics from the 1960s that have no cover, and you open it up to a musty page,
Yes.
and you let that just wash over you as you read, and then it'll be complete.
That's right. Get that must in your lungs. Probably give you diseases that science can't even name, much less cure.
It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it for the experience of actually having a Action Comics Superman comic #1. So
Yeah, you can join the Supermen of America.
yeah.
Oh my God, how does this get any better? Anyway, that's a 10 out of 10. Definitely a lot of historical stuff this week, so y'all need to check it out. And Marvel did the same. I finally picked up a Marvel. They did the same thing. They've been doing it for quite some time, but this is Amazing Spider-Man #1. Now this of course is based on pure science, with a nose cone. If you've read the story, like the nose cone, it's flying through the upper atmosphere. And of course, Spider-Man has to rescue Jonah Jameson's son on there. So what does he do? He hijacks a jet, and he's riding on top of it. Realism. That's what we've come to expect from the Marvel Universe. That makes it so good. And of course, how does he get aboard that spaceship? One thwip later. And see, he pulls himself up just like anyone would do. So now he's nose cone surfing. Which, of course, he manages to get... I'm sorry if I'm giving any spoilers here. I know this is really damn dramatic. But anyway, he activates the parachute, keeping with science, and making a landing on the ground. And, of course, Spider-Man runs away. So, yeah, the science in this book is just incredible, which is why I'm kind of hoping to be... I'm going to put some of my dad's old radium watches near some spiders I caught. Hoping for the best, kids. Hoping for the best. And, of course, we have a guest shot of Fantastic Four. This is a classic comic. And,
the Madame Curie collection.
Madame Curie collection. Yeah, the one that glows in the dark. But anyway, and you can open your own Saturday morning shoe store with this. So, anyway, and it's got beautiful Steve Ditko artwork. Great writing by Stan Lee that doesn't make up amount of bit of sense, but anyway, it's a 10 out of 10 because it is Spider-Man. Now we're leading up. This is getting along here. Here's a rant. This is one of the worst written books, and this is a serious one. One of the worst written books I have read since Checkmate.
Ah.
And again, DC has a cover that has literally nothing to do with Super Swamp Thing. Okay, yeah, there's Superman, the new Superman, there's Swamp Thing. Now, how's this Super Swamp Thing? Okay. And the characters are introduced. And we see that this is Dr. Fate because the caption says so. And the kids are mentioned by name. Obsidian and Jade. Yeah, that's nice. And then there's a recap on the left, and then there's 4 characters there. Joe would have a stroke if he saw this. Be nice to know who they were. Oh, we see that Superman. And now
If none of them are Batman, does it really matter?
Yeah, it's true. What am I talking about? Good night, everyone. Drive home safely. No, and he's been in for 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, and they finally named Green Lantern.
Wow.
Okay? Every comic book is someone's first comic book. And there's some characters in here, like Yara Flor, who are never named. And there are people that show up like, I read Justice League, Dark. I know who this character is. But who the hell else does from reading this? And there's a lot of stuff in here that just kind of fills time as Superman, and one of the Swamp Things, not the Alec Holland version, and Raven, who isn't named till a third of the way through the book. They're in this weird dreamscape, and then we've got, this guy here, And we don't really know who they are. And there's no explanation for any of this crap. And then we're, kind of like Alan Scott's been doing all this stuff, and then he just stops doing it. Very Jim Aparo-like panel there, which I approve of. And there's some stuff here that they don't, and in the end, because it does get explained in the next book I'm reviewing, this is something that belongs to the guy who's causing this crisis. And if this is somebody's first book, it'll make a Marvel fan out of it any day.
So who can we lay the blame at whose feet here?
Oh, you'll like this. This is like...
Is Byrne writing from DC?
Yeah. Just the writers. There's 3 writers. 1, 2, 3, 4 artists. If I were a new reader, I wouldn't know what the hell was going on in here. And I got it because it tied into the Dark Crisis series, which I've been enjoying. Mm-hmm. It gets a 3 because it gets a 4 because they had 4 good artists on it. The dialogue is good, but none of it explains who the characters are. And if this was somebody's first book, and I'm sorry, I always look at these things editorially, it's going to be their last.
Is this a one-shot?
Yeah, fortunately.
Okay, what is it? What is the actual title?
Oh, I'll have to see if land in the swamp pit here. I can't get it. Anyway, no, Dark Crisis, the Deadly Green.
Okay.
And it's not really clear what the green is.
Huh.
They don't explain that either. There's just a whole lot of stuff that people in this room would get it. Because we've been reading DCs for God knows how long. But I think of the poor person that picked this up because maybe the cover looked cool or something somehow appealed to them, or they bought one of those 3-packs at Walmart. Mm-hmm. And then reading this thing going, I'm totally lost. Really, it's okay. But to make up for it, this was pretty good. Yes!
I know why it sucked.
Why?
One of the writers was Dan Waters.
Oh, you're not a fan of his either?
No, it was one of the very first books I reviewed on the show, The Picture of Everything Else.
That's right. That's right. Yep. I forgot he did that. Yep. Yeah, and I've seen a couple things he's written for DC, and Ram V, who... Ram stuff is kind of hit or miss. There are some times where it's like, Ram just wants to get to the story, and doesn't give a whole lot of exposition, which, again, first time for everyone. Daniel Waters is the same way, that he just wants to get into the action and doesn't really care that you don't know who the hell these people are. And I think that's an oversight. And I will put the blame solely on Chris Rosa, because he's the editor, and he should have buckled down and got these people in line. Now, then again, you have Dark Crisis, which is moving at a good clip. And it's a bit ahead of the tie-ins, so some of this it makes you question how much the tie-ins were needed. Okay, I haven't been getting the Young Justice ones, and I have been getting the individual heroes on their planets. The Superman one was excellent. The others have been okay. And then it has the aforementioned POS that I just reviewed. And this one, though, is pretty good. And we've got a couple of more issues. This is 5 out of 7. Real good stuff from Joshua Williamson and Daniel Sampier. Art is solid. Lots of good stuff. Lots of shiny. And I think my favorite line in here is the heroes are reunited. And, of course, Superman proves why he is Superman. And, of course, the heroes are getting ready to battle the big bad, which is, of course, the guy from the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Big spoiler. And Green Arrow turns to Hal Jordan, goes, Hal, what the hell are you doing here? And Hal replies, saving your green ass. So, I love that line. And then we have a heartfelt reunion with Black Canary and Oliver. And there's just, and like I said, it's a lot of fighting, a lot of good stuff. Great moments for Nightwing in here. This one's a solid 9.5. It is good entertainment. Don't buy that other piece of crap. Now, we're getting to the meat here. One of my favorite comics is one of the darkest comics ever, and it's called Miracle Man. Quick history. Alan Moore, who is famous for V for Vendetta and Watchmen, etc., etc., he wrote, when he was younger, he wrote a fanzine article about what he would do to bring back Marvel Man, who was the 1950s British version of Captain Marvel, Shazam. But when Fawcett Comics, the American supplier, threw themselves out of business, the comics are still selling in Great Britain. So the publisher created a whole new Marvel family. And they lasted from like 1953 to about 1963, and then they finally had to give up the ghost. Well, former Marvel UK editor Des Skin created a magazine called Warrior, which he united a whole bunch of great artists and writers like Steve Parkhouse, Paul Neary, David Lloyd, and etc., and Steve Moore, and let them run loose. And one of the two things that Alan Moore was writing was the V for Vendetta, obviously, and also an updated Miracle Man. And in short work, we find out that Miracle Man, all these fantastic tales took place in his head. It was part of a government plot to use alien technology to create like super soldiers. And when they realized these characters had become too powerful, then they tried to destroy them. But all three survived. The first 16 issues were by Alan Moore and the late Gary Leach, Alan Davis, who you should be familiar with because he's awesome, Rick Veitch with the first graphic childbirth in comics. Anyway, not advised to leave that out under the Christmas tree for the kids. And then followed up with, also Chuck Austin, Chuck Beckham at the time, mostly a writer now, and John Toddleben. It morphs from a kind of like deconstructed superhero book with little spots of humor and insight to a totally dark book where basically Miracle Man, and he was originally Marvel Man, but due to Marvel's intervention, he has to call himself Miracle Man in the States. But anyway, it's a trademark issue. So Alan Moore wrote like the first 16 issues where he leaves the book off where Miracle Man, Marvel Man, however you want to call him, is presiding over an Earth that is united by his power. It is a superhero-enforced paradise. And then he gets this new kid who's been doing rock journalism up till that point, a guy named Neil Gaiman, to take over, who does an arc where he shows the various ways that the Miracle family, the Marvel family, have conquered starvation, they've conquered poverty, they've conquered global paranoia, they've even conquered death because they bring back two of Miracle Man's lost, his dead enemies, and keeps them around and tries to rehabilitate them. And it left off about halfway with a new arc with art by Mark Buckingham of Fables fame, where young Marvel Man, the third member of the Marvel family, is brought back to life, but he's a kid from the 50s and 60s. He's not ready for 21st century, especially sexual mores. Okay? Well, anyway, that's when the book was canceled because basically the company publishing it got canceled. They had a flood and it destroyed everything and they had to give up the ghost after that. But then this segues into a lengthy legal battle with Todd McFarlane, who claimed he had the rights to Marvel Man and may or may not have, and then Alan Moore doesn't want anything to do with it. Then the original creator, Des Skin of the Marvel family, this Marvel family, he's like, no, I created the whole thing, I'm the creator. And then Neil Gaiman says, well, I own a piece of it too, so does Mark Buckingham, we'd love to come back, but we need money to do the lawsuits against Todd McFarlane. Hey, Marvel, you still got a grudge against Todd? So that's why you saw 1602. The money from that, and also a run of the Eternals by Gaiman, all that went into funding the legal battle for the Miracle Man property. And now Neil Gaiman and Mark Buckingham own it outright. And Marvel is doing it. And I couldn't ask for a better comic this week. Miracle Man #0. And in it, we get about half a dozen different stories, including one starting out with Neil Gaiman. where he shows you what his world is like. And reality is so strange. Miracle Man is now looking for answers in fiction. And it starts out with we're revisiting characters such as Big Ben. That's this guy here, a new version of Big Ben, the man with no time for crime. And also great little inserts by Ty Templeton.
Oh,
Saturday mornings, Miracle Man, the animated series. And beautiful, beautiful stuff. Mike Carey and Paul Davidson has one of Warpsmith.
oh yeah.
Noir.
When cheetahs, or when humans talk of speed, they think of cheetahs. When cheetahs talk of speed, they think of warpsmiths.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the original series, he took out one of Marvel Man's enemies by it was Kid Marvel Man who had the same powers as his mentor. So what this guy does is he picks up a stick and teleports it inside the guy's skull. And it's a wonderful, wonderful story as he battles one of Miracle Man's children, of which he has many. Apparently, he's been busy. And also, Peach Momoko has a cute little story in here, kind of abstract.
Who does he think he is, Zeus?
Yeah,
He'll
really.
just go impregnating everybody on the planet.
I know, but I guess he's got nothing else to do. But anyway, and then we've got some more Ty Templeton with some comic book parodies featuring the Miracle Man family, and then a really, really good story about a man who dreams of the Miracle Man family, and the only way to end them is to end him. And it's really beautiful. And then a nice tribute to the original artist Gary Leach, who just recently passed away. And to show you, Mark Buckingham, it's been Clyde, 15 years? Maybe 20? No, 25.
Yeah.
At least. Between when Mark Buckingham drew the final arc of Miracle Man and now, and his style has changed. Mark Buckingham is completely redrawing what he did.
Oh.
And you get a taste of it here. It is flat out gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And the words, of course, and the logos will be added later. But this is, and of course, it's behind a spectacular Alan Davis cover.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, back page, it's got the logo there. This is the book I've been waiting for 25 years. And it is good reading. You do not need to know who Miracle Man is. You'll pick it up along the way, and even if they don't tell you, they give you just enough that you can enjoy the story. But they are starting a new Miracle Man series with the Silver Age, which is the arc with a young Miracle Man. And this is a 10 out of 10. Solid 10 out of 10. Great reading here. The only weakest part for me was Peach Momoko, and it was just not my type of story, but it was still really quite good. Well executed. So, yeah, definitely grab this when you go down to the comic shop this week. You'll be glad you did. So
They used to give Miracle Man out when you ordered from Mile High Comics. They'd give you they threw a free one in.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd seen anything really gory in a comic book.
Yeah,
Kid Miracle Man was waiting for you. He decided to kill
I just wanted my G.I.
time.
Joe #2.
Yes, and the part I'm thinking of, yes, Johnny Bates, I have a cure. You don't have to worry about turning into Kid Miracle Man anymore. Oh, I'm so grateful. I'm so glad. Splat.
Yeah. Trafalgar Square will never be the same again.
Yes. The three books, I've seen the in fact, I picked them up, the hardcovers at Ollie's. I think I need to replace my second volume. It's gotten dinged over the last few weeks. But anyway, but no, they are excellent comics, but they are not for the squeamish.
No.
Because they are quite graphic, because Alan Moore is exploring what having a superhuman does to humans.
Mm-hmm.
when they can belt a great white whale, It's like we are tissue paper compared to them. But there's some good moments in it, and it's really a great, great comic hood. I hope now we'll get some of the recognition it deserves. So anyway, we've got more stuff here. And back of the cereal box, now I'm getting sworn at by John B. Pica. Damn it, Brian K. Morris. I skipped Monkey Prince, and now you've made me want to read it. Curse you. Hey, not my fault. You should have listened to my reviews, Johnny. And been cuddling my kitty. What's up with you? And Molly says, my computer has no sound, so I'm listening via phone. Needless to say, phone is about 30 seconds behind the computer. But she says, Archie, now you're talking. And John B. Pica knows where it's at. Pure heart. And I miss Mad Magazine and Cracked. Cracked can still be found online. They have adopted a kind of a video style. It's more like The Onion these days. But yeah, Cracked was a great magazine. John Severin in every issue. And hey, Pops, did Pops check in? I didn't see Pops. He must be in somewhere else. And too many chefs. Yeah, Carl, that's it exactly. There's too many chefs. One person, I mean, I don't mind if all of them plot, but one person should have taken hold, especially the editor, and said, y'all need to introduce each other. And it's not just new readers. People like myself who have been out of comics for decades would be confused. Well, there you go. See? Well, and I haven't followed Swamp Thing in about 10 years. I was surprised to see there's a second one. There's the Alec Holland version, and then there's a new guy. It must have happened maybe either in I don't think it's New 52, but maybe the Rebirth version or the Walmart Digest.
I think it was Rebirth, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Or something that came out after Rebirth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember. But was Adrian Barbeau in it anywhere?
That must be why I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Why?
I can watch that crappy movie anytime with her in it.
That's right. Fast forward. Oh, thank you, Brian. Oh, hell, you're welcome. Anyway, so that is our reviews for the night. And thank you all for your very, very cool comments in the Peanut Gallery. And it's good to see some of you. It's always good to see all of you here. But, people like John Pike, I don't see you often enough. And also check out Back of the Cereal Box on YouTube. It's a great channel. So, gentlemen, do you have anything to discuss tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
We were talking about the She-Hulk episode earlier, and tomorrow will be the launch of Werewolf by Night, the special.
Was that tomorrow night?
I believe, or tomorrow.
Oh, that's
tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I knew it was sometime this month.
October 7th. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward as a special Halloween treat to see what they do with that. So.
Oh, that should be fun.
Also, I had not heard this until I read it in the back of the Junkyard Joe book. Pat McCollum of Wizard Magazine.
Yes.
Passed away.
Yeah, that was a little while ago, I think.
That was a couple weeks ago, yeah.
I missed
and he was
it.
also an editor at DC Comics, too.
Right. And it has a very nice tribute to him in here. And the guy that, did more than you'll ever realize for comics, and nobody knew him. Because he wanted it that way. He wanted to be on the down low. But they hold him up as somebody that really impacted comics. Another person, very unexpectedly, passed away is Kim Jong-gi.
Yes.
Suffered a fatal heart attack
on his way to Paris?
Well, he was in
Or
Paris
he
and he
was
was
at the
waiting on a flight to go to New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
And right before the flight, he had a heart attack, and they tried to revive him. And he is known for, if you've never seen his work, he did these strikingly detailed environments and landscapes and characters. He's put out 6 original sketchbooks, and he did work for Marvel and DC. He did a cover thing for Marvel that looks like it could take up an entire billboard, and then was broken into covers.
He drew really large scale.
Yeah,
I think he's got like a Guinness Award for that.
he did.
Yeah.
Never, any of the videos, I've watched several videos of him drawing. He doesn't lay anything out.
No.
He just goes straight to pen. I mean, he doesn't use a ruler or anything. I mean, and he gets his perspectives perfect. I mean, everything. It's like, artist always tries to put on the paper what they see in their mind. It's almost like his eyes projected what exactly and he just traced it. But
like it became a photocopy of what he was
I mean,
seeing.
everything was. It would be like watching. I remember there was a movie someone was doing just auto drawing or something like that. But yeah, I mean, he would just. I mean, a lot of times it was a continuous line.
Yeah.
He just go around. I mean, he is amazing, or was amazing to watch as an artist. I mean, just
And I've seen them discuss his talent as being very close, or perhaps an actual savant in his in the way he did it. But you know, very unexpectedly, 47 years old. So
That's too young.
Now, another artist, you guys will laugh when I tell you who it is he's very close to having that ability, and I've watched him draw as well. I mean, just draw right here that skips a different, and not lay out any pencils, go straight to ink, and just Dan Fraga.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, detail wise and as realistic, no, but comic wise, I mean, yeah, he could almost do that stuff too. So
wow.
But Kim Jung-gi was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and somehow I don't know how, but he kind of flew under my radar somehow. And
Well,
it
he
wasn't
didn't do
until
a lot
died.
of real comic art.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like occasionally he would do something for someone in Marvel, DC, but a lot of it was just drawings. I mean, big wall drawings. I mean,
beautiful stuff. I just
He was-
finally caught up with him. He's amazing.
he was from South Korea, and Tiger the Longtail was one of the series I think he did. He did some things there that were more known in Asian audiences, but
very cool. Well, much love to their survivors, and may all the memories be golden. Carl Witzman's abandoning us. Good show. Must be Pastor Joe McKeelfer and a few. Carl, thank you for being here, brother. Always appreciate you, and we'll see you, and we'll see Donna Carlene. Wow, thank you, sweetheart. It was a good show because you were here. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you at LibraryCon or FezCon at the Benton County Public Library in Fowler, Illinois. If you can't find it, you're not trying.
is it Fowler, Illinois, or Indiana?
Or Indiana, excuse me, Indiana. Okay. Same thing. Anyway, but no,
it's not.
No, it's not. It's better here. Anyway, yeah, please come see us. Admission is free. You will love it. And I noticed something. I was just looking through some stuff here, and there is a, if I can get this dang ad off of Bleeding Cool here.
Good luck.
Which one?
Really? No, it's about this. What was it? Bad Idea Comics, that they've had this really weird, almost anti-campaign for their comics where they'll send like one copy to a shop, and they hire top talent to do this thing. They are currently on Kickstarter trying to raise $2.6 million to close the company down. And you know, if you give me $2.6 million, I probably would not write another word, you know? So...
Yeah, because I had something. It was not too long, maybe last year, I guess. It was an expensive book. It was supposed to be, there was only so many copies, and it only sold that first day. And if the shops had it out on the first day, they were supposed to pull it and send it back. And
yeah,
it was weird. And of course, I went like days later, and there was one on the shelf. I still didn't buy it because it was like $10, and I think it was maybe 28 pages.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was Yeah, I heard they were probably going to go under. I didn't know they were going to try to fund to put themselves out.
Well, that's one way to do it.
I don't want to work anymore, so how about everybody pay me $2.8 million?
And if you don't, I'll publish more crap.
Yeah.
There you go. It's kind of like my autograph scam. I mean, rules, So, see, they don't like it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're mad. They're madder than hell now. We set them off. So anyway, dogs get your own show. So, well, if that's what, well, Eric, first of all, let's. Are you doing the other show tonight? Are you doing the drawing show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. What you guys got in store?
It's
Way to promote.
I'm not even sure if it's on Indiegogo. It's a crowdfunded project. It's not a comic book. It's someone's doing an anime movie, and they're looking for funding, so they're coming on. They've provided us with plenty of reference to
That's good.
draw anime.
You sound so thrilled.
I just don't like drawing anime.
But you're good at it.
It's not my style.
I know, but you're good at it.
It takes so much longer because you got all these exaggerated features and it's.
Eric goes with that whole passion thing, and
Yeah.
he may be able to do it, but he doesn't have a passion for
I
it,
don't.
like we talked about.
I
You
don't.
you have an antipathy for it.
Like lately, you know, even though I'm launching Zombie Adventures tomorrow, I've been having a passion about Hounds of God.
Yeah,
Because I've already thought about the next 4-page story, and
yeah.
I'm going to do that in December. I was sitting here and like, oh, that'd be cool.
No, I know what you mean. I'm in the middle of getting a book proposal put together, and I'm about 6 months late on it. But but they've been very understanding. But it's like I want to get the terrors done. And I can't because I'm doing this because I'm behind. But anyway,
Well, I had intended to, I was going to launch, a new page every week. I was like, I could do a page a week. That's no problem.
yeah.
I've just got to finish coloring the 4th page now, and
I'll be checking my inbox, Eric.
I've only lettered the 2nd page. I did that the day I sent you the 1st page.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely a passion project. So, well, it's so
Yeah,
different
well,
from
I
what
mean-
you've been doing. I understand it. It's a
Yeah.
palate
Yeah,
cleanser.
it's it's based on a real human kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's not public domain stuff. I mean, it's
History.
and
Yeah.
characters I'm coming up with, other than the name. I mean, I'm sure he didn't live and become a werewolf working for the church.
Now that's disappointing.
No,
Yeah.
the sad thing is only 3 people are going to be able to read it. but
Not
and 2
one
of
of
them
them.
and 2 of them are right here.
Yeah.
Oh, 4 if I include myself.
Hey,
So
I
this
got
is
a
exclusive.
personalized-
This is where you promote your your Patreon too.
I got my first personalized Patreon message of, "Hey, thanks for subscribing, Clyde." And, so you just can't beat that kind of customer service. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't even give my daughter that, or Brian.
Yeah, really. It's like, oh, Brian's here. That's nice.
I was like, oh, Clyde's here. Oh.
Yeah, I know where I stand.
Yeah, but I added to the $5 level. I added a new perk to it this week as well. When I get up to 28 pages of Hounds of God, I'm going to print it out and send it to the $5 reward level.
Cool.
Cool.
I better up my.
Free of charge. I'm just going to print it out.
I was gonna say I better up my pledge. I don't think I'm in there.
I'm pretty sure I could squeeze it into a printing with a zombie full book. So,
Oh, that's possible.
I mean, for only 3 people, of course.
Easiest gig you've ever gotten, Eric. I'm telling you.
But I seriously want to just limit it to my Patreon page.
No,
And, of course, the goal is to bring people in. But if it doesn't, I'm having fun.
there you go. There you
Good
go.
practice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and Patreon is a good way to interact more intimately, I guess you could say, with your audience. It's like
That's
I have.
only fans.
Well, not that kind of intimate, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, but do stay tuned for mine. Anyway, but no, you pay me money to keep the clothing on. But no, I get some good dialogues with about 3 or 4 of my my subscribers, which is nice. Which I'm glad to get any. So, but we get some good conversations going. So, yeah, check out. There's a lot of really cool people doing Patreon, like Cindy Kemp, Amy Hale, Dan Doherty, Karen Nicole, just all kinds of really cool stuff. So please check us out. And let's see, do we have a new comment here? And here we go. Lissy says, "I'm still here." Thank goodness for that, Lissy. We need a grown-up here. And love the first page. Woo! I get the book. There you go.
I could probably put out the 2nd page, but it's supposed to be every Friday, so I'm going to have to wait.
Yeah, you wait. Well, it's like around the 25th of every month, I'm putting out a new chapter, first draft flash novel of Volcana 2, the Prometheus frame-up. And I think the next one will be chapter 5, which means I'm going faster at it than I did the original. But, people get to see my first draft, which generally I don't show anyone. I don't even show Cookie. She would probably think I'm having a stroke or something. But no, I'm cleaning it up and making it look good for you guys. But do check it out. And that's where everyone read The Terrors at first. People enjoyed that, and so we're putting that into a book. And looking forward to getting that edited soon, I hope. So anyway, yes, Lissy, you get the book. Good for you. So, let's say we give Eric some time to wind down before he does the drawing he doesn't want to do. All right. So, Eric, why don't you start us off? Tell everyone how they can keep up with you.
Well, obviously, you can go out to my Kickstarter pre-launch page and just follow me there, and you'll see stuff all the time. Or you can follow me on YouTube at eHawkins1971. I've got like 40 subscribers. I don't do a lot of stuff on there, but I am going to go tomorrow and live stream my launch at 11 o'clock Central, which I'll probably get on there a few minutes early, and I'll probably go over the different pledge levels. One pledge level that people will like is a Zombie World of Oz pledge level. That's only for people who like that Spider-Man swipe cover I did. I'm doing one last one because a lot of my stretch goals were that they wanted extra. They wanted a virgin one. They wanted a line art one. So now I'm going to offer them the black and silver, like McFarlane and Marvel did. It's just the black.
Nice.
It looks pretty. I mean, the drawing is so pretty. So I'm offering that on metal too.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, but I mean, the rest of it's all about the Zombieful Adventures, which is set in the same world as the Zombieful World of Oz, but it's all based on here. It'll be in Missouri. We'll start off in Missouri, and it'll be Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn as U.S. Marshals in their. They should be almost 80, but I'm going to say they're in their early 70s. Because I just couldn't pull off some of the action if I said they were 80. There's no way.
Yeah, this is before hip replacements. Keep that in mind.
So they have to go out and stop a runaway train from wrecking into Union Station in St. Louis, which is a very fun project. It's set in 1914, just like Zombie World of Oz is. So I had to go back and make sure certain landmarks were actually in St. Louis at that time. I was like, was the Union Station there? Maybe not. Which I'm having to do with Hounds of God, too. I'm having to look for uniforms and different clothing and stuff like that. So research is fun part of comics. But that's where you can find me tomorrow. And every Thursday you can find me here. You can go to my link tree and find where I'm at everywhere. Then after this, I'll be on another drawing show. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I won't do it tonight's anime again. It's not that I don't like anime, I don't like drawing anime. And nobody votes for me anymore anyway, so I'm tired of it. But that's where you can find me, so that's it. Take it away.
Yes, thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
And Clyde Hall, tell everyone how they can follow you.
Well, I'm Clyde Hall, and I have been a fan of comics and movies since I was old enough to switch on the TV and wonder why it looked like the black and white Superman was laying on a table when he flew. Just how long is that, you ask? Well, long enough that I remember turning off the first episode of the TV show Planet of the Apes as soon as a chimpanzee was shown in scene 1 running with a dog through the woods. Because even me knew then that in the movies, a virus brought back from space missions had killed all the dogs and cats on Earth, leaving us humans to begin domesticating apes and eventually using them as servants and slave labor. Yes, even back then, I was a continuity stickler. But now I got to watch my own continuities, P's and Q's, because I'm an independent author and an award-winning audio drama scripter and a contributing writer at Stormgate Press. Check out my e-novella for the Captain Hawkland Lost Adventure series at Stormgate entitled The Banshee Barnstormer. Jeffrey Hayes has sent a complimentary poster of the artwork for the cover of that book. And lovely. It's beautiful. And it has to do with Captain Stephen Hawkland. Can the World War I flying ace stop a ghostly aviator bringing down Army Air Corps pilots drafted into service during the airmail scandal of 1934? Or will Captain Hawkland end up not only COD, but also DOA? You have to check the Banshee Barnstormer to find out. You can find it on Amazon along with the award-winning series Pulp Reality.
Yay!
Pulp Reality 1, Pulp Reality 2, and Pulp Reality 3. And soon, just in time for Christmas, Pulp Reality number 4. And you need to get them so you can see why this new Pulp Landmark series has won Pulp Factory Awards 2 years in a row. Also, check out Stormgate's new anthology, Tim Bruckner's Wonderful Adventures of Major Marjorie. I'm in the bullpen, along with Charles F. Millhouse for this anthology, Jim Beard, Alessia Kent, and our very own Brian K. Morris. So it's available on Amazon as well. Or you can go to www.stormgatepress.com to see all the goodies available in the new pulp genre. I do online comics reviews at The Beat, aka Comics Beat, and doomrocket.com. You can find me on Facebook at Clyde Hall or Radiating Positive Vibes with author Clyde Hall. And you can find me on Twitter at CJ Hall 1984. Check back next Thursday when the Rising Tide Broadcast Network once again celebrates NCBD +1 right here at Comic Book Spectrum.
Fantastic. Thank you, Clyde. And I'm the elder statesman here. Or I'm the oldest, actually. I should not be a statesman. Anyway, please check out Zombieful World of Oz, or the Zombieful Adventures on Kickstarter right now, launching tomorrow morning. Please, please, please give that some love. If you hit that button that says, I want to be notified upon launch, it does not obligate you to any sort of financial involvement. But once you see that platform, man, you're going to want in on this first issue here. So definitely check out the various pledge levels, and please pledge generously. But anyway, hit that I want to be notified button so that Eric gets a little boost in the algorithms on Kickstarter, all right? You'll be glad you did, and it will make Eric so happy. I hate to see him cry again. Anyway, this Saturday, I will be at the Benton County Public Library in Fowler, Indiana. From 10 to 2, along with some really cool people like Nick Tockert, the host of Nevermind the Furthermore, is doing a better job than the previous lout, and Amanda Tockert and Carl Witzman and Donna Carleen, and hopefully Molly Daniels. We're pulling for you, Molly. But anyway, we're going to be there from 10 to 2. Admission is free. Please come pick our brains if you've got a yen for writing, or you just want to talk with somebody that will maybe boost you up and get you to creating your own stuff. And we'll also have books for sale, including, the perennial favorite, Skyman. I'm running out of that one. Also, the award-winning Snow Shorts here with Snow Ambition, my award-winning story. A trio of Batman books about the Adam West extravaganza from the 60s on TV. And, of course, Major Marjorie. This thing's going fast. And, of course, the perennial favorite, Sandestein. Which if you've got to read it to believe it. And so I can get paid. Anyway, we also, if you want to keep track of what I do, go to risingtide.pub. You can sign up for my monthly information sheet, where we give you insider information on what we're doing, plus some really cool videos and some inspirational quotes you will enjoy. Also, please, if you've enjoyed any part of this show, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube. And also, please subscribe to this channel. And please share this with your friends. It means a lot to us. And we want to thank our sponsors, Rising Tide Publications, who will be having a brand new book, The Terrors, out this fall. And also want to thank our Patreon subscribers, because they help keep the Rising Tide flowing forward. And if you want to find out what we give you in return for your financial support, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And a lot of this stuff is very, very exclusive, so you're not going to find it anywhere else but there. And also, we want to thank our dear friend Jeffrey Hayes from Plasma Fire Graphics, our big sponsor on the show. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
You've worked hard and written a great book. Now, it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasma Fire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
Check out their Facebook page, and then go to plasmafiregraphics.com and check out the glorious art there, and ask about Jeffrey's great indie creator-friendly pricing on that. You'll be glad you did. That's Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And what also matters is we'll be back in 1 week for another episode of Comic Book Spectrum. We want to thank Brian Rodman for showing up.
Yay!
Yay! That was worth a whole night, let me tell you. And also, Jody McFee, please get well fast. And hope to see you back here next week. And we hope to see you back here next week, too, here on Comic Book Spectrum. Because we couldn't do this show without you. We'd have no one to bounce this stuff off of. And get lonely here. So lonely. But anyway, please come see us in the Benton County Public Museum, or Public Library, rather. I was at a museum a few weeks ago. The Public Library in Fowler, Indiana, this coming Saturday from 10 to 2. We'd be glad to see you there. And as always, folks, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Have a great week, and we will see all y'all next week on Comic Book Spectrum. Have a great week, everyone. And go buy some comics for the love of Stan Lee.